Hi and welcome to another Watch Geek video. Today we're taking a look at a GD-350 G-Shock, a watch one of you guys sent me as a gift. So again, thank you Brandon for your generosity. I also did a detailed tutorial for all the functions, so when that video goes online you'll be able to watch it by clicking here. Originally launched in 2013, the GD-350 gained a lot of popularity right away, as it ticked more than a few boxes for G-Shock fans. First, this is not solar nor atomic, which is what some people prefer, as they think regular batteries are more reliable, and watches using regular batteries usually do have louder alarms and alerts. On top of that, this has all the usual functions done right. So the stopwatch is not some poor 60-minute one. No, this has a 1000-hour stopwatch with 1/100th of a second visible for the whole duration of the measurement, something very few Casio watches do, as usually, even on older ones, digits move to the right as you pass the first hour, so you lose the ability to read the time down to 1/100th of a second. This model solves that issue. Then the countdown timer. It is a full 24-hour countdown timer that is settable down to the second, something missing on many newer G-Shocks that can have the timer set down to a minute only. On top of that, you have an instant timer start via the dedicated button from the home screen, so you don't have to get into the countdown timer to actually activate it. Casio also made this button out of metal to differentiate it from the others. It also comes with a full world time function with 100 cities and the usual 5 alarms. The thing that makes G-Shock fans especially excited is the fact current time is visible in all the functions except world time function. This is also a little detail most G-Shocks lost over the years. What that means is that using any of the functions doesn't require you to go back to the home screen to see what the actual time is. It is one of those small details you didn't even know you need until models without it started coming out. Another cool feature we didn't even know we needed was the vibration alert. It was also one of the controversies around this model, as the early versions had vibrator written on the screen, and in many countries and languages it is a word used to describe a device that makes ladies very happy. Casio soon realized their mistake, and they soon replaced the text with the one seen on this model, Vibe Alert. Despite the change in name, the function remained the same, giving this watch the ability to alert you of the alarm going off or countdown timer reaching 0 discreetly without anyone else noticing. If, however, you want your alerts to be very noticeable, you can still turn on both the sound and the available flash alert. Since all these functions, especially the vibration and flash, are power hungry, Casio made sure you have enough energy by putting one of the biggest coin batteries ever put in a G-Shock, the CR2032, that they claim will be enough for up to 5 years of normal use. Since Casio greatly undersells their energy claims, as seen from my DW5000 that lasted 10 years on a 2-year battery, I think you can expect 7 to 10 years at least on a single battery unless you play with the functions every day. Although I love all of these functions, especially the Vibe Alert, my favorite part of this watch has to be the screen. It makes this model one of the most legible G-Shocks ever made. Even the negative versions are very legible. In fact, this is the only model of a G-Shock where I wouldn't mind getting a negative screen version. And if you follow my channel, you know that is a big deal, as I never buy negative models. The incredible legibility comes not only from the high contrast, but also the sheer size of the numbers used. My GW6900 has noticeably larger digits compared to my Square, which makes it very legible, but this thing puts even the 6900 to shame. On this, the seconds digits are almost the size of the hours and minutes of the Square. You have a feeling you could read the time on this from 10 feet away. Like that wasn't enough, Casio equipped the model with one of the most powerful light functions ever, called appropriately a super illuminator. The name is befitting, but sadly it is also probably the only thing I don't like about this model. Why? It's simply too strong. When you're playing with it during the day, it is very cool, as it makes the regular EL backlight of my GW6900 or my Square look poor in comparison. But when you wake up in the middle of the night with your eyes sensitive to any light, you realize that the weak backlight of the latter two is just right, while this actually blinds you and you have to wait a couple of seconds for your eyes to adapt to actually read out the time. Luckily, that is not a huge problem, as the light on this can be set to stay on for 5 seconds after you activate it. It may seem long, but trust me, you'll need it. The rest of the watch is very likable as well, especially in this gray variant, as it makes it different and kind of refreshing compared to the black resin used on almost all other G-Shocks. The fact Casio decided to omit using colors for the text on the bezel just helps in making this watch look like a prop from a sci-fi movie. I personally love the look, and especially love the fact that even though it is a very chunky looking watch, it actually wears quite comfortably on a smaller wrist thanks to the wings used under the strap. It is very similar to the GW7900 I reviewed in that regard. Chunky but comfortable. I do like the feel of the wings, but wonder if they will make my wrists sweat more in the summer, the way the 7900 did, as the wings basically block the strap vents. But I guess I'll just have to wait and see. Well, that completes this week's review, so thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed and found it useful. If you did, please like and subscribe, and until the next video, bye.